Hey everybody, and welcome back to another figure review here on the channel. And for the first time ever here on Eternity Bricks, we're going to be taking a look at a Fortnite figure. This is Drift. I've really been enjoying playing Fortnite here on the channel, so I'm excited to see what this figure has to offer. And we're going to start by taking a look at the packaging, which has the figure promptly displayed right here in the middle. Taking a look above the figure, you can see the Fortnite logo and a render of the character we're going to be unboxing. And then if we take a look at the back here, you can see that there's also a couple of other figures in this wave. I will say that for this being a child's toy, the packaging is actually going to be really difficult to open, as it's not traditional cardboard, it's made of a really sturdy plastic. But I'm going to go ahead and do my best to open up this figure, and we're going to be taking a look at the things that are inside. And before we take a look at the actual figure, there is this pamphlet inside that shows various characters that are available to purchase, as well as a pretty good variety of different weapons you can buy as well to attach to your character. And this piece of paper is double-sided, so as you can see there are quite a bit of accessories to be able to attach to your character if you so choose to buy them. But with all of that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and start taking a look at the actual Drift figure itself, which I actually have mixed opinions about. And we're going to start by taking a look at the top half of the figure, which I do think is pretty accurate from its depiction in the Fortnite video game. And as you can see, there's some really nice detail found all throughout the figure, especially on the mask there. I find it to be incredibly detailed and pretty accurate to what it's trying to represent. But as we start to rotate the figure around, you can also see that some of the detail is either scratched or chipped off, which is kind of disappointing. Especially when we make our way around to the back of the figure here. In my opinion, this just looks a little sloppy. And if we take a look towards the bottom here, you can see that that white detail is really scratched up. I don't think that this is necessarily going to be a huge deal for kids that want to play with these figures, but as a collector, I do find it to be rather disappointing. And if you look towards the collar of the figure, you can see that some of the gold detail is scratched up there as well. The detail for the fingers also looks a little wishy-washy to me. I wish it was just a little bit more sharper in detail. But other than that, I do feel like the figure looks relatively solid overall, and it's got some good detail for what it is. Moving down to the lower half of the figure, I am rather impressed with the detail that is here on his shoes. These pieces are a lot smaller and the detail is more close knitted together, and I just find it really impressive that this looks better than the other detail we've taken a look on the figure so far. It isn't perfect, but for being a smaller area of the figure, the detail that is here does look relatively great. One of the things that did surprise me about this figure is you are able to remove Drift's hood if that's something you want to do. But now we're going to go ahead and start talking about the articulation, and as you can see, the head is on a ball joint, so it is able to be rotated side to side. But unfortunately, you aren't able to move the figure's head up and down. There is some pretty good range of motion in the shoulders. As you can see, we're getting some pretty good flexion there. And the articulation for the elbow of this figure is really limited due to the shape and design of the sleeves, but you can see there's some good articulation in the wrists. And you are able to move the elbow slightly, but it's unable to fully bend, so I feel like it looks a little awkward. But I suppose I do appreciate its inclusion. The jacket for Drift is a really flimsy plastic, so you are able to open it up a little bit, and there's some pretty good detail to be seen here. And I think this is a pretty good design choice for this figure because the jacket's not going to limit the articulation. Moving down to the legs, you can see that they're able to be raised up and down, and there is some articulation in the knee and ankle of Drift as well. And overall, I feel like that this figure has some decent articulation. It doesn't necessarily blow me away, but it does have the standard articulation you would expect in a 4-inch figure like this. The accessory for Drift is the Rift Edge pickaxe, which I think looks pretty great and has some really cool detail for being so small. And as you can see, there are no chips or scratches on it, and this is the kind of quality I would expect from the figure itself. The figure also comes with a stand, which I think is a nice inclusion because without it, the figure would have trouble standing up due to the weight of the figure. And if you've been watching the channel recently, you know that I've opened up some Mythic Goldfish that come with various accessories that are actually compatible with 4-inch Fortnite figures. So let's take a quick look at what some of these look like on Drift. And as you can see, the overall shape and design for these accessories do fit rather nicely with this figure. And I think that they are pretty in line as far as size goes of what you'd expect for these figures. And then here's another quick look at Drift with some different accessories attached to him. And I really appreciate the inclusion of being able to attach back blings to these figures. I think that is just such a neat little detail. You'll have to let me know what you think of some of these accessories in the comments below. And I picked up the Drift Fortnite figure for around $9. And while I don't necessarily regret my purchase, I do think that there are improvements that could be made, but if you're a fan of Fortnite, I think you're going to enjoy the figure as a whole. I want to thank you so much for watching my review, and if you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like, and if you're new, maybe hit subscribe so you can see more reviews like this in the future.